Okay, hello student. Good afternoon. I am Pratima Yadav. I'm here to teach you introductory microeconomics. I tried yesterday to give you the brief. Once again, I will try to talk about a brief about the course because of many of you were not able to join the class. So let me directly focus on how many topics are there, broader topics, and within that how we will go for this course. We have the 15 classes in about 2 months. We will cover the most of the topics, and topics include introduction. Then we will talk about supply and demand, the firm and perfect market structure, imperfect market structure, and input markets. So these are the broader topics we will talk about in coming 2 months, this month and February, and then first week of March. So I have already yesterday talked about how I'm going to structure and what are the topics we are going to cover day by day. So first class I have maybe there will be recording with SOL. Maybe you can ask to them. I covered what is the microeconomics, scope and method of microeconomics, the economic problem, scarcity, and choices. So some of the topics were left that day. We couldn't cover the all due to some technical glitch, and then So I will go ahead with whatever we are left. We discuss about what is the economics. We discuss about what is the micro and macro. We hear a bit about the scope. I will start with what is the scope method we discussed that day. I will give you a brief about the scope of economics. What is the scope of economics? Economics as a subject is experiencing continuous growth. You know that most of the people, 1776 was the year when economics started existing in the world. Earlier it was political economy. We used to say it's political economy, but in 1776 when the, Smith book was out, and it was the wealth of nation. So that when that book was out, then that is the year economics started. And I hope if some of the you have the class for 11 12 economics, we always say Adam Smith is the father of economics. He was the first person. He was the first person who recognized economics as an independent subject. So can you imagine, like 240 years ago, economics there was no subject as such as economics. But yes, after 40 years, we are studying, and economics growth has been very vast. Various branches of economics. Earlier, it was only micro, macro, international trade. So bigger topic. Now there are various branches of economics: environmental economics, health economics, development economics, public finance is separated, international trade, of course, there is. Then you talk about monetary policy, fiscal policy. So there are various branches of economics has been come into existence. The frontier of the subject has been widened after Alfred Marshall. So when this growth which I am talking about started, it was started soon after the frontier. Alfred Marshall separated it from the term political economy. So Smith was the person who first started saying that economics is a subject, economic behavior of the human once you analyze and do. This is the economics, but still it was somehow a part of political economy. So first of all, who started from the term separated from the political economy, it was Alfred Marshall. A discussion on the scope of economics include the definition of economics, whether economics is an art or a science, and whether it is a positive or normative. So what is it? This is the very important question to discuss about. So economics, is it science? It is art? It is a positive? It is a normative? So these are the questions. A lot of question has started. So we will go one by one and see what are the things we can discuss. So let's go one by one. First, we'll talk economics is an art or a science subject. What's economics? Science in the sense art, which you talk about, discuss, but you can't prove it. Science, there is a fact, figures you can test. You can say this is right and wrong. So giving you exact word, I can say there have been numerous questions whether economics is an art or a science. Economics is an art as well as science. Economics is a subject which have both. It is a philosophy, it is a theory, but at the same time we collect the data, we have different kind of modeling, we try to compute those modeling and try to test. There are various econometrics packages now, it's SPSS, it's data and so on, to test your theories. Let's suppose if COVID is going on currently, how the demand for mask will increase. So you can collect the data, you can go to household and then try to fit into supply demand curve and try to see that. So you can check. At the same time, there are different kind of test has been innovated by statistician and econometrician to see that, to measure that and to test that is it our measurement is right or wrong. Economics is an art because theories and law are explained with the help of graphs, figures, tables, question. Also, economics make use of assumption which help to define the condition of application of theories, law, and relationship between economic variable, which I have already given you the brief. Because of economics, we do both way. We have a lot of graphs, figures, tables, equation. At the same time, we have application of theories, law, and relation. That also we try to see. Economics is science. How economics? Economics is science because it is the systematized body of knowledge in which economics facts are studied and analyzed. Economics, just like a science, have a laws, theory, which trace out a causal relations between two or more phenomena, which I give you the example. Why it's science? Let's suppose I have a theory. If demand is low, if price is low, demand will be high. So what about the unnatural condition? Whenever there is unnatural condition, your market theory or demand theory will not work. As of COVID-19, because of now, once you become you behave not rationally. In economics, one more term we use always, a human which which engaged in the market for buying and selling the things, he is a very rational person. But what happened, there is a disaster or pandemic or something, people that time not being rational, they try to save themselves, they try to survive themselves in whatever condition they are having now. So for instance, the law of demand tells us that all things being equal, a fall in the price lead to an increase in demand and vice versa, which I have given you the example. A rise or fall in price is the cause, while the decrease or increase in demand is its effects, which I have given you the example. So next we will talk about further we will go for how it is science. Economics is also a science because its law possess universal validity, such as the law of demand, law of diminishing marginal utility, etc. What is the diminishing marginal utility? Let's suppose I eat 5 chapatis, you eat five bread. So with each bread, if you're too hungry, first bread seems that it's very, you're very excited, you wanted to eat, but as your need is satisfied, your hunger is satisfied, you get the less marginal utility. That is the called diminishing marginal utility. Some people do not regard economics as a science because there is no scope for experimentation. As let's suppose in physics or chemistry, exactness means you will have the 100% exactness. In economics, there are certain fields where there can be 100%, but because of human behavior, is can't be mechanism. We say now, I am a human, I can't be a mechanic. You can't utilize my intelligence or act as a robot. Human is human, so there can be variation. So exactness can be a way of saying that it's not science. Another thing, science involves collection of facts and testing them by the experiment. Economics have, but it is all theories and thoughts? No. Some of the theories and thoughts, you can check facts, collect the data, which I've given an example of COVID. Economics phenomena are complex because they relate to man who act rationally as a result of test, habits, social and legal institution in the society. Because your tests change, your social concepts change. So maybe you are a very rational person, but maybe demand of what to say, demand of rice is going down. But if you have a diabetes, if you have some other problem, or so you're not going to buy that. You're not going, because if that is not good for diabetic person. So we consider at the same time there can be a person, maybe prices are going down of the rice compared to the wheat, still they will eat rice because that person like rice more than the wheat. Let's see the people from South India or certain region of, because if there is a lot of production of the rice, so that paddy, so people used to, but once they shift to some northern area, but they're not going to start tomorrow eating the chapatis, because of their habit, they have developed a different kind of habit. So there it's contradict. Economics cannot be the science because of it's not applied to one person or one section of the society. What is the next? Although economics deal with statistical, mathematical and econometric method for testing, but they are not so accurate to judge the true validity of economics law and theory, which I have already explained. There are various packages and things which you can do, but exactness may be, there can be lesser than what is the science does. As a result, exact quantitative prediction become impossible. For instance, a rise in price may not lead to reduction in demand, rather may increase demand because people are scared of shortage in the price. That I give you example. Or I give the example of pandemic. If pandemic is there, maybe the prices are too high of the mask, people will go and buy because everybody want to survive in this time, this time, whatever going on. But this doesn't mean that economics is not a science. Even after all those whatever we have discussed, doesn't mean that economics is not science. It is rather classified as a social science because it's deal with the human being whose actions are so filled with uncertainty, which I have told you. Means everybody is not, we are not like robot or artificial intelligence. We have certain data, we will produce the same thing. No, human is different. Same things, if you give 10 times to read and say, they will come up with different kind of result. Same question, we will see different perspective, and our result will be different, particularly because of its human behavior, its creativity. Creativity is not going to, manufacturing can be same, creativity can't be same. It will be always different. So because of its deal with the human behavior and their economic behavior, therefore it's called social science, not only science. Okay, so let's see what else I have. So now it's talk about no, let me, I think I have jumped. Okay, so what is the next? Next we talk about economics as a positive and normative science. Which kind of science is there? There can be art and science. If you talk about science, is it a positive or normative? First, we have to understand what is the positive and what is the normative science. According to John Maynard Keynes, a positive science may be defined as a body of systematized knowledge concerning what it is, while a normative science is a body of systematized knowledge relating to criteria of what ought to be. Okay, knowledge concerning what it is. One is what it is, any past, whatever happening. Another is what it going to be in the future. It's talk about the future. So there are two. Once you talk about the positive, it's talk about the what it is already happened. And normative, it's mostly talk about what is out to be, what is going to be happen. The objective of positive science is the establishment of scientific law, while the objective of normative science is the determination of the ideas. Okay, so we are distinguishing here particularly, and then we will finally see where economics lands. Okay, so positive science, it's talk about scientific law, while the objective of the normative science is determination of idea. In economics, we do both. So let's see. A positive science is concerned with what is. According to Robinson, economics is concerned what it is, which is not concerned with moral or ethical question. Third, distinguish the positive science of economics make it devoid of a value or ethical judgment. That is, it's related and described fact without saying whether they are good or bad. Okay. For instance, statements such as growth creates pollution or growth gets rid of pollution are called positive statement. Assertion of facts that can be tested. In the sense, whatever facts are facts. We don't say it's good or bad. We just in positive, positive science, we talk about that. Economics says that. That is according to Robinson. Okay. Next is normative economics involve value judge or what are simply known as a value. What is the value? It is a concern with the question of what ought to be. It's make distinction between good and bad depending on ethics and beliefs of the people rather than on scientific law and principle. Okay. So for instance, positive economics is concerned with how aggregate consumption and investment, how the national income and employment, how the general price leaves are price levels are determined. It doesn't go into the question of what should the price be, what should be the saving rate, etc. These question of what should be and what ought to be falls with normative. In the sense, it is saying that, once you talk about positive science in the sense, you talk about just the fact, whatever they are. You don't question with morality and ethics, it should be. Once you talk about it should be, it would be, it ought to be, then it's basically a normative science. Okay. So then what is the next? Okay. So what is the next? Next is and then finally we are concluding, is it economics is positive or normative science? So economics is both a positive and normative science, because positive science economics sets about discover what is true about the economy, while the normative science evaluate whether the facts found are good and bad. So basically economics is a positive and normative science. Positive science because it's talk about facts and figure, whatever they are. Normative science, once you try to say, is it the government Narega is good or bad? Once you analyze the Narega, Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Yojana, but then you started talking about, we talk about there is a lot of write-up in EPW and others, is it good or bad? So economics does the both. Therefore, economics is a positive and normative science. Okay. Method of economic analysis that I discussed, last class. So I'm leaving this portion. There are two, broadly I will say, method of economic, analysis. There are two types of deductive method and inductive method. Broadly, I will just say that in deductive method, it's also named analytical abstract or prior method. The deductive method consists in deriving conclusion from a general truth. There is a general truth and then you try to derive something. Like you see that people generally, when the prices are low, they are going to buy the things. You derive that prices and price and demand have negative correlation. So that is the deductive method. What is the second method which I will talk about? So this is the deductive method. Another is inductive method. So let me tell you a line for inductive method. And there are, I have already spoken that day. Second is inductive method of economics analysis. Inductive method, which also called empirical method, was adopted by the historical school of economics. It involved the process of reasoning from particular fact to general principle. In the sense, once you take the general principle and try to make a theory, that is the call deductive. Inductive, you find something and then you try to generalize it for the whole system or society. That is the called inductive method. And I have last class I have given the both I have discussed in length. So I'm just superficially trying to tell you. I'm not going in depth this class. So finally, if we have to talk about combine the both, we will say the above analysis revealed that both the method had some weakness. We cannot rely exclusively any one of them. Modern economists are of the view that both these methods are complementary. They partners and not rivals. Alfred Marshall has rightly remarked. And how he rightly remarked? Inductive and deductive methods are both needed for scientific thoughts, as the right and left foot are both needed for walking. I agree. Because of some of the things you find from general to hypothesis theory you make, some of the very small minute one area, then you try to generalize it. So both are very important, and it depends what you are doing, what kind of question you are raising, what kind of things you are looking for. So we can apply any of them or both as a situation demand, which I have told you what kind of question you are raising. So two more things I will just discuss in this, and then I will jump to what was supposed to discuss today. I will try to hold that as well. So what is the economics problem? Is there any problem in economics? It's okay. We talk about human behavior. We are discussing about human behavior and their economic, how they deal with demand, supply, how they buy the things. So is there any problem will arise? Yes, there will be huge problem. And the problem is all societies face with economics problem, which is the problem of how to make the best use of limited or scarce resources. We have very limited or scarce resources. Resources are not in abundance. That day I think a bit I try to see that. So resources are limited. Like we have a limited land, fertile land. If you talk about, let's suppose take the land, we have a limited land, and we can grow the fruits or vegetable or anything in limited way. We don't have unlimited things or unlimited resources. Therefore, it's a problem. Then how to utilize these resources? How to distribute these resources among the people? The economic problem exists because although the need and want of the people are endless, the resource available to satisfy their needs and wants are limited. As I told you, we are 1.3 billion people, and we have a limited land. Therefore, you have seen a lot of people are unemployed, poverty, those problems start once our needs and requirements are so much, and we have limited resources. How to utilize, how to make most of it, that is the economics problem, biggest problem, if you see. And that there is the economics is very much needed to resolve, to to do the best for the country, for the people. So this lead to us to two questions. What is the scarcity? What is the choices? In the sense, as I told you, 1.3 billion people, limited, we have the land, river, each and everything is limited. So we are facing two things. One is scarcity because of we have limited resources, Another is choices. So these things can have the multiple use. We have 5 ways we can, we can produce the wheat or paddy. What are the places wheat and paddy can be grown so that everybody should have a food? Food inflation should be not high. To do that, we have two problems. One is scarcity problem, limited resources. What are the choices we can make with that? So let's discuss these two things. What is the scarcity and what are the choices? Scarcity means that people want more than it's available. Scarcity limits us both as an individual and a society. As an individual, our incomes are limited. As a society, as a society, we have limited resources. As I told you, 1.3 billion people have our land is not too big. We are the second largest, population wise. But if you talk about the land wise, we are the sixth or seventh. So we are not in that, exact ratio. If you take the other world or other countries in the world and then try to compare with them and where we stand. So individual have a scarcity because of each and everyone has a limited, income or earnings. Country has a scarcity of the resources. We have not too many rivers. There are some of the rivers which water you can drink after purified, and so similarly food shortage and those things can be happen. So individual as well as the society and nation have the scarcity. Okay, that's fine. So what are the choices we have and how we can make the best use of these choices? Scarcity requires choices. Okay, people must choose which of their desires they will satisfy and which they will leave unsatisfied. That's true. In the sense you can't satisfy yourself. Maybe once I went to market, there was a 5 beautiful, cloths. I want to buy them all, but I carry in my wallet, 5,000 rupees. I can't buy all. I have to choose. I can buy 2 or maximum 3. It depends upon how much prices they are ranging from. So therefore choices are very important. When we either as individual or as a society choose more of something, scarcity forces us to take less of something else, which I told you. I like 5 dresses, but the prices and other things I can't buy all 5, but I can buy 2 or maximum 3. So here I'm making a choice. And why I'm making a choice? Because of limited resources. Economics is sometimes called the study of scarcity because economic activity would not exist if scarcity didn't force people to make choices. If you see anything, even if you go to the market and trying to buy the vegetable, grocery, or any kind of things, you have a limited resources, you have a limited money. If a country want to grow, if a country want to, we want to have the what America infrastructure having, or what infrastructure Great Britain is having, Australia, Canada is, we want all, but we can't have. We have a limited resources. We have too many people to feed, too many people to, have the basic amenities. So we can't create big, like buildings or monument or the airport, these, that, because of, as of given the resources, we can't. First, we need to have our basic need to be fulfilled. After that, you go for, big and high things and try to do that. So those countries are different race. We are in different race. Maybe most of the people are aware that India is a developing country, and those countries which I have named, either it's Australia, Canada, United States of America, Great Britain, Germany, most of the West European countries, they're developed nation. So they are in different league. We are in different league. So we have to choose we have to very judiciously utilize our resources and make the choices which is the best can be for us as a society, as a nation, as an individual. Okay, so this is fine. I'm done with the, whatever I left that class. So another However, I will keep 10 minutes for student discussion. So prepare your question if you need to ask whatever we have discussed, today. I have given one reading list. If somebody is very interested, what I should read for the scope and definition of economics, read a article by Raymond T. Raymond, Raymond T. by. The article name is the scope and definition of economics. It was published in Journal of Political Economy, volume 47, number 5, October 1939. Page number is 623 to 647. 25 page this article is this, and it has been published by University of Chicago. It is available on JSTOR. Let me see. I'm trying to, going on Saturday on North Campus. Hopefully, I will try to access this. I have gone through this article, and this is the really good article. However, couldn't find, so I have to download once again, and I will share it with you all. So this is the, we have covered today, last two classes. We have covered what is the basics questions of we have covered the basic question, and that is what is the microeconomics, scope and method of economics, the economic problem, scarcity and choices, that we have already covered today. We are having another 10 minutes. 5 minutes more I will take to just introduce the second what we are going to discuss. What was we supposed to have discussed today. However, because of last class was not live and we couldn't connect, therefore I will take the first part, the concept of opportunity cost, the question of what to produce, how to produce, and how to distribute output. Science of economics I have already covered today. Institutions for allocation resources. So let me give another 5 minutes to just give you brief about the concept of opportunity cost. So I'm straightforward going to this slide of the concept of opportunity cost. What is the opportunity? Many people, we always talk about opportunity. This is the given opportunity. Maybe COVID has a problem, but still for manufacturing the face mask, sanitizer, PPP, these are the opportunity. These are the opportunity to produce those things. So what is the opportunity cost? So let me introduce the opportunity cost. The concept of scarcity leads to the idea of opportunity cost. Scarcity in the sense we have a limited resources. That leads to think about what is the opportunity. If I am leaving one thing for another, what is the cost of that? The opportunity cost of an action is what you must give up when you make that choices. Another way to say that it is a value of the next best opportunity. Okay, opportunity cost is a direct implication of scarcity. People have to choose between different alternatives when decided how to spend their money and their time. So basically, opportunity cost come to existence because of we have a choices. Because of we have a choices and we make judgment for one thing, we leave another thing. So that is the opportunity cost. In Milton Friedman word, who was the Nobel laureate in economics, fond of saying there is no such things as a free lunch. Means if you take something, you leave something. There is nothing is free. You have chosen something. Maybe you have an evening, you want to study, or you wanted to go for movie, or you wanted to just hang out with friends. So these are the opportunity cost. Studying, hanging with the friends, or going night out party, or watching a movie. So that is the opportunity cost. What that means is that in the world of scarcity, everything has an opportunity cost. There is always a trade-off involved in any decision you make. You have a trade-off. You have to do the trade-off. Is it good for studying or good for going and hanging out? If you are not feeling well, if you are very sad, it's better to go and hang out with the friend rather than go studying, because of you are not going to grasp that way. Maybe you will be exhausted, your time is wasted, maybe you are sitting at home front of book but you are not grasping, you are not learning new things. Then it's better to go with the friend and have the good time. Just I'm giving you example. Okay, so I will discuss another 2 minutes, then 5 minutes is for your question and answer, or maybe that can be go another after the class 10 minutes more I can give you. The concept of opportunity is one of the most important idea in economics. Consider the question, how much does it cost to go to college for a year? We would add up the direct costs like tuition, books, school, supply, etc. These are the example of explicit cost, that is the cost required in money payments. So there are different kind of opportunity cost, which is talking about, one is explicit, one is the implicit cost, and there is a total opportunity cost if you combine the both. So what is the explicit cost? When you can make a payment. So let me see the next. Okay, however the costs are small compared to the value of time it is attended the class to you home. The amount and the student have to earn if she has the work rather than attending the school is the implicit cost of attending the college. Implicit costs are costs that do not require a money payment. So now explicit, where you require the money to pay, implicit when you don't require money to pay. So opportunity cost include the both. Fine. So here I've talked explicit costs are costs that are required money payment. Implicit, you don't not required a money payment. And what is the opportunity cost? When you have add explicit and implicit both, that is the call opportunity cost. Fine. So finally, the notion of opportunity cost help explain why star athletes often do not graduate from the college. The cost of going to college include $1 million they could earn as a professional athlete. So I will give you the example of Virat Kohli, because of most of us love to watch the cricket. Why he didn't graduate? Because by the time he was at the age where we can go to college, that time he become too famous in 2007-8. He started getting famous, so he was getting a crores rupees. If he go to college, he will lose that money. Because of that reason, he chose to play the cricket rather than going to the college. So that is the opportunity cost. Fine. So I'm ending this class for the lecture. However, you are free to ask the questions. So now we will go for question answer session.